Board of Selectmen meeting. Could all stand, pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Anybody get anything to add to it?
Just one request, or two requests, but simple, and if possible, if no one objects. Could we move the selectman question of Fernie Park when Alan is still here? So it'll be at the end of his, and then also the marijuana discussion at the end of Chief Murray's. I'd like to have them here, if there's no objections, instead of keeping them to the end. It's just a quick couple questions.
Baroni under Allen's.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one has any objections to that?
No, I don't think so, Robert.
No,
Or,
no other
Janet?
change.
yeah, nothing. You have a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I make a motion that the agenda be approved as amended.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Have a couple of announcements. This is for the bands. Go, David. First of all, I want to wish all those veterans out there that gave us all our freedoms. You know, I hope they had a good Veterans Day and good remembrance. I should have mentioned some in the last meeting, but I forgot. I know. Winter parking ban is now in effect. Seems like we just did this. On-street parking between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. is not permitted. Additionally, on-street parking is strictly prohibited during active snowstorms, despite the time of day. The 15th annual holiday concert music and sing-along featuring the Neshoba Valley Concert Band will be held at Town Hall at 2 p.m. on December 10, 2016. Later in the evening, an additional announcement will be made about Town Hall holiday stroll and tree lighting ceremony. And the 17th annual Tuba Christmas concert will be held on Sunday, December 11th at 2 p.m. at the Town Hall. The town of Ayer is one of only 4 locations in Massachusetts really able to experience this extraordinary concert. I also want to mention that there's a public input meeting concerning the West Main Street and the Shirley Street Bridge projects on Tuesday, November 22nd, here at 7 p.m. It's just something. And a thanks to the town clerk's office for all their work and everybody that worked the election. It was before and after. It was a mammoth effort. And the police department's seeking applications for a full-time police officer. Check the website for the information. Okay. Public input, anybody? No. Okay. Chief Murray.
Evening, everybody.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
Nice beard.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce David Lansing.
How you doing?
Hi.
How are you? David is an applicant with us. I'm here before the board to request that he be appointed the last full-time patrolman position that we have open. As you know, we were granted 2 more police officers at the May town meeting, and after we did all of our advertisements and everything, we came down to 8 candidates that we interviewed. They were interviewed by Lieutenant Gill, Sergeant Evans, and Patrolman Krasinskis. And out of those 8, 2 rose to the top, and David was our second one. He passed a background investigation done by Detective Kolarski, and has been recommended by my staff with confidence. David's 29 years old, lives in Marlborough, Mass. Currently employed as a police officer for Tufts University Police Department at the Grafton campus. He's a graduate of the BHBL High School in Burnt Hills, New York, and has a bachelor's degree from the State University of New York. Currently attending graduate classes at Tufts University. So it would be my recommendation that the board appoint Mr. Lansing, patrolman, contingent upon, of course, the usual physical and psychological exam that we run. Requesting that he be started at step 2. He is academy graduate. And with a start date of December 8th. To give him a couple of weeks to give his notice to his current employer. I would like to point out that David brought a whole contingent with him tonight. Mark and Denise are his parents. They came all the way from New York for this event. His wife Amanda and Officer Keen Allen from the Tufts Police Department also came to join us.
Is Mike here?
No, sir.
Cool. Tufts, I used to drink down at Tufts.
You're not supposed to tell the police that.
If I give you some names, would you recognize them?
I may. Actually, it's a very good department.
Yeah.
I knew a couple people. I used to have a store in Medford.
Oh,
And
okay.
I knew some of the people that worked up there, and they were excellent in what they did. So.
Yeah, it's a good group of men and women, absolutely.
Yeah. Very good questions. Cheers.
What drew you to Ayer?
Opportunity and curb appeal. When I started looking at options to kind of develop professionally, I noticed that there was a lot of opportunity in Ayer, and we're talking to Lieutenant Gill and respective contingencies, liking what I think the department represents. And the curb appeal, last few months I've driven up here, driven down East Main Street, sampled T-Pos a couple times. Also driven into the more sparsely populated areas up by, it was a Sandy Lake, trying to get a feel for the town. And I really like what it has to offer. It's very diverse.
All right. How long have you been at Tufts?
I've been at Tufts since just over 3 years. I started as a dispatcher in October 2013, and so just over 3 years.
Great.
Anything else? Anything else to add? All right.
No, sir.
Chief, you got a motion?
I make a motion that the board approve the hiring of David I'm sorry. Let me blow this up a little bit. Get my eyes rechecked. That the board approved the hiring of David M. Lansing to the position of patrol officer with the, at step 2 with the start date of December 8th, 2016, contingent upon physical and psychological exam.
Second.
Moved in second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
They didn't come for nothing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good luck. I'm sure we'll see you
for
around.
coming, too. Department's getting young fast.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
yeah,
getting
I'm
older.
feeling really old. Getting younger, too. My second appointment is for a per diem dispatch, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. Prisoner watch person. She couldn't be here tonight. She's currently enrolled in our Citizens Police Academy, and that's how she heard about our, at every Citizens Police Academy, one of my spiels at the very beginning is prisoner watch, prisoner watch, prisoner watch, you know, and how great it would be if you could join us. And so she's taken up that cause. Linda, Taylor, Liz, and Shirley. She works here in Ayer, and after reviewing her background, her application and a quick background investigation, we found nothing to keep her from effectively performing the duties of a prison watch person.
That's per diem.
They are per diem on call. Rarely work because sergeant and patrol all have first right of refusal on these shifts. So then dispatchers, then per diems, prison watch person.
Question?
Motion that Linda J. Taylor and Shirley to the, sorry, I lost my train of thought. The prisoner watch, as outlined by Chief Warren.
Seconded.
Moved in second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Truck exclusion.
So I heard that the board was interested in a truck exclusion for Columbia Street. And I had anticipated getting my information into the state last week, but it turns out I needed more information. I needed a 24-hour count of trucks and some other things that they would like, so I'm getting that together. I actually sent that email in today. Hopefully, everything I'm doing preliminarily won't require us to get a full-blown engineering study done. They may just take it, because it looks very promising. We do have a good access for them to go somewhere else, down East Main Street to the Rotary, unlike, the Willow Road and Sandy Pond Road. So the guys thought it was kind of promising. I would like to tell you that in the 24-hour count we did, we counted 103 trucks just in that one 24-hour period. So, and that's basically 3:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night was when they were running.
How many vehicles were there total?
Total, there were a lot more than that, but trucks themselves, and I'm talking 2.5 tons and up,
Yeah.
were 103. So, not as many tractor trailer units as you would think, but a lot of dump trucks, a lot of that size trucks, cement trucks. Those are the ones that are primarily what you'll see making this corner. So I think the argument can be made, they're probably, doing some damage to the roadway, but I'm more about congestion and the havoc they cause out there for that. So I'll get that in, and hopefully I can have more for the board at the next meeting.
Any question?
No, I mean, that's one of the reasons I brought it up. I happened to be coming this way one day. There was a dump truck, and I think it was a cement truck. And again, just came out of down Willow, and just instead of going up to the Rotary, they came down. And of course, when this is busy out here, obviously, it gets pretty hairy there, especially when you get trucks coming in this way, taking the corner. And you probably know as good as anybody.
It's horrible.
My concern was a tractor trailer or a civilian on the corner, or it's very easy. You've seen a lot of that down in the Cambridge Way recently with trucks and bikers and stuff on these side streets. So I know we couldn't do it on Sandy Pond Road, but it seems like this would help that as well, possibly.
Could.
Yeah.
I think I had mentioned to the chief that maybe we could put a sign down where Sandy Pond splits over to the McDonald's and say like truck traffic that way. I don't know if that could be, this can be expanded upon or not.
Well, the signage will have to be very extensive.
Right.
So, I mean, if they know they can't come down Columbia, there's no sense in coming down Central and coming down
Right.
all that way, so. And
Well,
to try to
just
use
the
Groton
local
Harvard
ones, yeah.
Road. The local ones, obviously, you can't
Yeah.
stop,
Right.
but, if they're just driving through, you can.
And I think it's been better since the light's been put in on 2A actually too. I've noticed a lot of trucks taking that sign that the highway department put up, the truck route, and now that they can actually make the corner up there at the light.
Yeah, they did, that improvement was nice. And
Yeah,
just
that
having the
seems-
lights there is, I think has been good.
Yeah, it's been tremendous.
Because you know you can get out now.
Exactly. So I've seen the trucks a lot more take that left instead of, so they can actually make the swing. So I think that's helped quite a bit too,
Yeah.
which is good for everybody on that road as well.
All right, so we're waiting for more information.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
And you had something else you wanted?
Oh, well, I had put
While
this,
he was here.
yeah, well, I had sent about the agenda before this had passed, obviously, because I had a sneaking suspicion it may pass. And that's funny because I saw it on the news last night too, that a lot of communities are starting to roll out these moratoriums or look into it about getting ahead of this whole marijuana. I guess it's retail, I guess it could be, or, and
Starting soon.
within a
December
year.
15th.
Well, December 15th, it becomes legal.
Well, yeah, it becomes
Becomes
legal.
legal, and then it's gonna be a year before you can see a
And
retail
it's,
store.
Right. So,
I'm sorry, go ahead. It's probably another good thing, because I believe it's based on the amount of liquor license, so probably the town meeting vote was probably a good thing. But I think that's how they're gonna base it, not so much on population, but how many liquor licenses the town has.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah. So I don't know, and I know Robert was looking into it too, because we don't really know, but I think we need to come up with whether we can restrict it based on, like we do the adult entertainment. I think it's before Janice and I were here, but you guys have.
Me too.
Oh, all right, that was a while back.
Yeah.
Because my biggest fear is having a store at the end of Washington Street with a school, and I'm sure, I read your letter to the editor, and I know your feelings about it, I'm sure all of you. It's gonna be, in my opinion, a nightmare.
Yeah.
And my feeling is, because we have the dispensary over there that was approved, and Ayers, they're gonna be, you know how it goes.
Yep,
We've already seen it.
yep.
Well, that brings up, because after it got voted in, I was reading an article. I found it on boston.com. I'm assuming it was in the Globe, but it didn't really say. And there was one question that definitely popped out on me that I forwarded to Robert to say, we definitely want to clarify this, because this being online and in the paper, as to if we would be able to, because we have the dispensary on Central Ave, if a business wanted to be basically on Central Ave, can we say no? Because the implication in how it was written in this article is that you cannot prohibit them from areas where a medical marijuana facility is already registered. So then that begs the question, does that mean Central Ave? Does it mean Main Street being a different zone, Central Ave being his other zone, or whatever? So I forwarded him, I said, this one definitely stood out to me. And then we can only limit or ban establishments based on this article. And of course, this is just a newspaper article. This is nothing from the state. The state's got to give us further classification. But I bring it up because it was already out there in the public. We have to, obviously, we'd have to have a town meeting vote as to whether or not to be able to restrict or ban, which we don't think any of us have a problem with that. But that, out of all the questions on here, really kind of stood out on me, because, like, how do we do that? And then, of course, how does the planning board zone, if that's the case? And of course, we never zoned after the medical marijuana got approved in 2012.
Well,
that still hasn't been
That was
done.
I remember Chairman Fay at the time bringing it up right after the vote, and for some reason, who knows what chaos was going on back then. We never really got to it, and it kind of came along fast, but
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to get ahead of it, because I just have a feeling as soon as it's legalized, we're going to have people looking to come downtown.
Well,
I mean, and I don't know how other people feel about it. I don't necessarily think it was a great idea to pass, and I don't think...
They've had problems in Colorado. And has there been any guidance from the Attorney General's office on anything?
Absolutely nothing.
It's funny because you read about it, they have no agency set up, really. I mean, it's essentially the Attorney General kind of scrambling now to put together a board, and
Which is a tad disturbing. Because, you'd think they would have had, like, some plan, just, scenario B, if it gets approved, we've got something to start with. So that's a little disapproving. But right now, I mean, they're saying it goes into effect in December 15th.
Well, that's when the law goes into
The law
effect.
goes
You won't
into
see
effect.
stores until a year later.
yeah, the following...
Right.
The retail
January
stores
1st.
won't be coming
Yeah.
for another
Okay.
year.
No, I want to clarify that nobody can go around the public smoking it in public.
We haven't gotten that.
It's the
We
way,
haven't
from what
gotten-
I understand.
We haven't gotten that answer yet. So
Okay.
as of the 15th or the 18th, one or the other, it is legal. Whether or not you can smoke, because we have a town bylaw against in public. We haven't gotten an answer on that yet.
Okay.
That's one of those questions that we've asked.
Yeah.
I know
So-
you can't
That's
do it in the
based-
post office parking lot.
Well, that, based on this
Federal.
article, it does
Federal.
sound
Well,
like,
that's really gonna
you
deter.
can't be in public.
Okay.
And
Sure,
so,
might help.
I liked that part of it, so I'm gonna make sure that, you can't be in public. And, so, yeah, this is going to be a little hairy.
Robert?
Mr. Chair, as stated, I talked to town council the day after this passed, and we've asked town council, what's the number one question from all of the towns? They have, the chief through his sources, the MMA as well, as it's passed, but there are no regulations yet and so forth, and in some instances, it could be up to a year on that. You also may be getting calls. We got some calls today from the press because we have a dispensary, thoughts as to the law. Folks are also talking about moratoriums again, and with that may go down the same route that it did last time about the constitutionality of it. But with all that said, as soon as we get more information, everybody's in the same boat. I was at a meeting this morning with area town administrators, everybody in the same boat, trying to get some direction on this. I think one thing conceptually, I think we can all agree on that we should start with now, because it takes some time at least, is respectfully, perhaps the board sending a formal communique to the planning board, though they continue to talk about their effort to redo the zoning bylaw, and that has been delayed. I think never before, now especially, in terms of zoning, we should really look, because it really is their purview and then ultimately town meeting. But I think we can't start soon enough, especially as the chief said, if it takes a year or so. We really need to address, respectfully, I think, the issue of zoning as it pertains to this, to the extent we can. Because right now, there is no, as you mentioned and others mentioned, there's no zoning restriction.
So can you pen a letter to the planning board and we can
If
sign
that's the
off
will
on
of the
it?
board, yeah, that's
If
what
it's
I
the
would
will-
recommend.
is it the
Yeah,
will of the
I
board?
agree. I think that's,
Yes, and is there a way that we can word it to, you need to move as expeditiously, is that the word? As possible.
expeditiously is.
Thank you, as possible, because if we need to go to town meeting and ask town meeting a question, right now, town meeting is scheduled for, May, and they need to, you know, the ducks need to be in the row so that we can get it out there so the public can see it and be able to have it, not throw it at them and then have, you know, they gotta light a fire under them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could do that, Robin, and get it back.
legislation by ballot sometimes is just the worst.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, because you guys are such a, I mean, we're talking about it as citizens. I can't even imagine what it means for you and retraining, and how do you determine
Who's
driving
around?
under the
Who's
influence
it?
of marijuana or I mean, alcohol obviously is, you know, you're trained for that. I mean, you have a breathalyzer. I don't
Right,
know what
there's
you
been
do
nothing
with.
specific for marijuana, it's just.
Yeah, it's really, and my parents told me this long ago, you know, most drug addicts, they don't start off with heroin. They start off with alcohol, then they go to marijuana. I mean, it's just a whole, you can go on and on and on. I could make a case why it's
Yeah.
bad for the community, but
And if they're eating chocolate chip cookies, you could probably fill them all with.
So I will, per the board, I will put together a letter for the three of you to sign, to transmit to the planning board that we need to move on this zoning issue.
Like
Yes.
yesterday.
Yeah.
that's, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Mr. Chair. They are working right now again with Judy Barrett's been looped back in.
Okay.
So
yeah.
they've been doing subgroup meetings with her like once or twice a month. So they're working on the whole zoning bylaw again.
Mhm.
So the actual zoning piece, you know, it's a good time because if, you know, she has a recommendation to zone it in certain areas. Obviously, it's up to the town, but that would be part of that process.
Which is good, but they need to really move quick, quicker than what has gone on. But just to throw some support to the chief in our police department, you can't do it in public and you can't drive under the influence.
Thank you.
Can't text and drive either, but, you know.
And don't text them.
They do it anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we'll do.
Mhm.
Send them a letter. I mean, I tell the planning board, even if you get everything together, we could have a special town meeting.
I was gonna ask it.
You know, you
Yeah.
could. But
I believe it was Ashland, I saw on Channel 25 last night, that was gonna do the one-year moratorium to kind of see how it works for other towns. You know, to kind of delay if league, you know, they can, to kind of sit back and see how other communities dive into it and see how it works. So,
you need to
whether
get on
that,
top of it anyway, so.
yeah.
All right, Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director of Community and Economic Development, Alicia, Alan?
We're both here.
Yeah? How are
We
you
see
guys?
Alicia a lot during this time of year.
Yes.
Then the rest of the year, she like ignores us and pretends we don't exist.
Yeah, you're like, yes, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Approval amendment, CDBG program? Were you
Yeah.
taking money from one to another program?
No, I mean, did you want some explanation on these two aspects of our program guidelines? Or did you understand what I was saying in there?
Oh, I get it.
Okay. So the one is just getting us aligned with what our policy has been, because in the 2005 guidelines, we didn't have any lead policy. And because of DHCD, we sometimes have followed federal guidelines and we've sometimes followed state guidelines. And they allowed us to do that. Say with the elderly, we could follow federal guidelines and waive them on pain stabilization. That's paint stabilization is lead paint that is not, chipping or anything like that. And we did not have to go in and paint because they didn't want to put it on their liens. They didn't feel that it was a benefit for them. But now the state has decided they really want to get lead out of Massachusetts. Massachusetts has a lot of old stock housing, and they're just really pushing to get lead out. So we're now being required to always follow state guidelines. And state guidelines says that everything, if we touch it, we get the lead out. And so I'll talk about the second part of the amendment, which is the question whether we should not lien for the program on paint stabilization. That's just scraping and painting. A lot of our de-leading or our lead compliance is we'll put in new windows. So we'll take out those old windows that have lead paint on them. We'll put, vinyl siding on, so we'll cover the lead paint. And that is all leaned. And about 50% of the community, some of them have chosen to lean everything, paint stabilization and everything. Others have chosen to forgive for the moderate and low income, just for the moderate and low income, the paint stabilization. So that's kind of the choice that you guys get to make. The other one is just that we've always covered the inspection costs through our administration. And by mistake, it got written differently. So we're just asking to amend that so that we cover the inspection costs for lead through the administration, part of the program.
Just to add, I'm a little familiar with this. The lead paint, they really amped this up about 5 years ago and have absolutely no way to enforce it or even follow the guidelines. I mean, some of the things they actually want you to do would be so cost prohibitive, it would put, someone like me had to get certified just in the little.
Yes.
It's really one of those state guidelines that is unenforceable, which causes more stress on homeowners and stuff.
And for a long time, we were just following federal guidelines,
Yeah.
particularly when it was elderly and things like that, because it just gave us a chance to go in, give them the furnace, put in new windows,
it,
insulate,
make it
and things
safe,
like that, and not do the things that we had to do with the full compliance. But now that they are, and DHCD is saying, oh no, the state came to us too.
Yeah,
and
well,
said-
this is how they can really manage it, like to some degree, because they can kind of have their hands in this. It's just the
Now the
private
benefit
homeowner,
is,
and yeah.
it's not a benefit for the elderly person, that paint stabilization. It's not a benefit for them. They look at their house. Most of these people, that's the only asset they have. It's their inheritance. And what will happen is the elderly will drop out of our program. And they're a major portion of our program. And we don't want them dropping out. That's why we're suggesting this.
So obviously you want to go in that direction.
That's what we're recommending.
Yeah.
Alicia and I have had many healthy discussions and made some dialogues over this. And
Yeah.
yes.
Well, it's hard
It's
because...
nuanced. I'm sorry.
And some communities go the other way. We talked to COG about this, and he said that that's why it's in there wrong, is because COG wrote up and he pulled the wrong ones when he originally did it. And I was not as aware of what was going on, because for us, it's been about 2 years now that they came to us and said, okay, you're going straight across the board.
So even though we get the federal money, we have to go with the state regulation.
We weren't, but we are now.
Okay, so the amendments are E,
Yes. Number 4.
number 4.
And I have the old E number 4, which I didn't send to you if you wanted to see the differences, but.
No, it's fine. I don't think anybody. So, someone want to give it a go?
I'll go.
Good, because I haven't found it yet.
I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the amendment to the Town of Ayer Housing Rehabilitation Program FY 2015 Guidelines, Section E, number 4, as presented by Alicia and in the packet.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. No, thanks for explaining it well.
Okay, thank you for your time.
And sorry
Okay,
that
Alan.
the state's taking their hands in and making this
Well, you know
much harder than
what,
it
there
needs
was
to
a
be.
big argument about that because program manager said, okay, so now we're a de-letting program, we're not a rehab program for,
Right.
and that's really a bit of a hardship.
Yeah.
Well, what they did was they came on so hard that they literally had people down in Boston boycotting the State House because they were essentially going to put painters, construction people out of business because, I mean, you couldn't wash the
Yep.
outside of your house if you had lead. You couldn't.
Yes.
They wanted you to set up moats and catch the water and then bring it to special. It was absurd, and it just they had to back off because it was such a push. So now I think they're pushing back on the stuff they can control.
Yes.
Which-
And
And
this,
this is, as Alicia said, what the result was, people just dropped out of the program.
Yeah,
They did nothing.
and that's-
This is
yeah.
not
And that's a
right.
shame.
It's
That's-
Yeah.
dangerous. This
Yeah.
should not be
Yeah.
the
We
goal.
heard these people trying to help.
Exactly.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I'm
Okay.
gonna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Right. Okay, Alan.
Okay. Okay, the second quick update item is the winter holiday season is approaching us. We are going to, I've been working with Carly and a few other folks, so we are this year, and again now, this will be my first winter in Ayer, my first holiday season. So what's important, I think what's very beneficial is the fact that we're going to take a shot this year at bringing the winter holiday tree into downtown and actually having it placed. And maybe, Carl, if you could do that first image of just the town hall there. Whoop. No, back. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Keep going. Keep going. You got to see all that before. There we go. Yeah, just actually the building, just so they can get a sense of. So we looked at this year of bringing a tree, and of course it's a little tricky in downtown Ayer because, well, unfortunately, the reality is, unlike a lot of other cities and towns in New England, we don't have a town common. We don't have a town, well, we don't have a town square now. We did at one time, but we don't. So there's no properly designed civic space in the downtown. I know that there are other places, Peroni Park, the Rotary, and others that could serve this purpose, but in the downtown. So we want to take a shot this time at really getting people having a memorable and meaningful experience with this together in the downtown. So you see there the corner, actually where Robert's window is there, on the front of the building, what would be the east side of the building. This is where we're proposing to place the winter holiday tree, and I think the height of it this year, we're going modest, is about 15 feet. So it'll be there, and you couldn't have a more, to me, magical backdrop than this building. We'll be out there taking great photographs. It'll be in our marketing materials and promotional materials. It's just going to be, I mean, picture perfect there. The other dynamic thing we'd like to introduce, and we are going to introduce, is actually a community Main Street candlelight stroll to the tree lighting. 22 years ago, and that's 22 years ago, I created and introduced the Downtown Nashua Winter Holiday Stroll. It's now the largest public event in the state of New Hampshire for 20 years. And it was all built on the candlelight stroll, which I just thought was a quirky little concept when I was a young guy in my late 20s, and it turned into, we have 30,000 people come into downtown Nashua. You can go this year if you want, this Saturday after Thanksgiving, for this one reason, so we can walk down the street and hold candles and do this together. And to this day, it still fascinates me that, my God, what did we do?
Right.
Click something. So
Yeah.
I'd like to, in our own, and I think Ayer, because of its human scale of the downtown, it's a beautifully intimate human scale. I think it's going to be a very powerful experience. So we're going to do the candlelight stroll. We've ordered 2,000 candles. We have a candle factory in Lowell, my hometown, by the way.
Oh, good.
Those candle factory. And so we're going to start we'll have 2,000 candles to start. I think that's a good start for Ayer. We have a population of 8,000 people. But have them all stage up right at the rail trail parking lot. We'll have the stations there. Everyone will gather. We'll hand the candles out to everyone. We'll get them staged up. We light the candles, we'll get them out on Main Street, and we'll actually stroll. Most people in this town have never experienced Main Street Ayer at 3 miles an hour. 3 miles an hour is a walking speed. And to walk in the middle of the street with candles, they're going to see the downtown experience in a whole other way, and it's going to be powerful. I know because I've lived it and I've seen it, and so anyway, we'd like to do it and create a new tradition. We shall see what happens. We're working with our downtown businesses and merchants and restaurateurs because that night's going to be a big night now. There'll hopefully be about 2,000 people, and the whole trick is, and by the way, we get up to the town hall, if you can envision then, and by the way, thank the Air Police Department, the Air Fire Department, our Public Works Department, and all for working together logistically to plan how we're going to actually be able to do this safely, logistically, and effectively. We'll gather around the town hall here, if you can envision this, candles at the tree, and we will have the Air Middle School Chorus. We'll stand around the tree. They're going to sing a magnificent song with all of us, our whole community together. And then, hopefully, we'd love to see you all, our selectmen.
Do I have to sing?
You are our
Please no.
celebrities.
Please say no.
Do the great countdown then to the tree.
Do not let him
10, 9, 8.
Feeling.
Oh,
I see a little Frank Sinatra in. Oh, okay.
you know that song is still like one of the most hated songs
Yeah,
ever.
I know.
Okay. So count the tree, light the tree, powerful, magnificent.
Great.
A memory the young children there will carry through their lives. And all of us that are there that first one will get to say, I was there at the first one. I remember back in 20. We'll see where it goes. And then, of course, in this room, we're going to have Santa and Mrs. Claus will be
In
here.
this room?
In this room, because the Great Hall, they're not doing the Great Hall, but they're going to be setting up doing the concert. By the way, we're doing this in unison now with the Air Business Alliance, because during that day in the afternoon, they'll be doing hay rides with Santa on Main Street.
It's a good idea. It'll bring people down to these concerts are great.
Yes.
The turnout hasn't always been as good because it's not as
Right. And
publicized
yes,
as
in
well.
Selectmen Hill, we met with them and said, instead of, because we were going to do this in 2 separate weekends, it's like, let's do this together and make it a powerful experience, throughout the day. And people, so this is what's happening. So yes, Santa and Mrs. Claus will be here. We actually have some great public employees that are right now designing, constructing a Santa throne.
Okay.
Didn't know
Right.
Santa had a throne, but okay.
Well, Santa does have a throne.
Charlie Schultz is building it.
Oh, God.
So-
Is he gonna use string lights?
Probably not.
This will work. I mean, the first year we did the Rotary, I think, Robert and Gary, you were there. It was a nice day. I think we had a couple hundred people there. I mean, that was just impromptu.
Yes.
Even the year it rained, the second year we did
poured.
the Rotary, it poured.
Poured.
We had a good couple, Mary, you were there as well. There was a real good turnout, and I was at the Rotary.
Wow.
So I think, the only question would be, we're going to light the Rotary before the 10th, right?
That would be
That'll all
like
be
either
what we did.
Thanksgiving night
Okay,
or
cool.
the day after.
And that's
All right,
going to be
awesome.
great, because the Rotary will get everyone sort of.
Yeah, no,
Get
that
them
was
right
my
in
only
line, so which is
concern, that we were going to
fantastic.
wait on everything until the 10th.
Yeah.
No, in the garland on the
building
light
will be up.
posts and the building,
Okay.
that will be up the week after Thanksgiving, because we didn't want to put the garland up
Sure.
before Thanksgiving, because it looks
Yep.
kind of.
So, and we're going to work with all our downtown merchants and restaurateurs. I'm going to be spending a lot of time with them over the next couple of weeks to do special window displays. Welcome people at night into your shop. Offer cocoa, cookies, just like they're visiting your home, whether they're buying or not. It's an opportunity to connect with new clients, customers, and all this. Restaurateurs are loving it. We're working closely with everyone. So we think it's going to be an important night, and it gets to the heart of community and economic development.
And what night will this be on?
Yeah, this is Saturday, December the 10th. And the candlelight stroll part of it will kick off. Folks will have gathering again right at the rail trail parking lot at between 4:45 and 5 p.m. And this is where we will hand the candles out to everyone, and then we will actually launch the stroll at 5:50.
And you can advertise it with what's going to happen upstairs too, right?
Yes,
Because
oh yeah,
that's Saturday
all
and then
combined,
Sunday.
all unified,
All right,
that's
good.
right, Avatar, which is great. So,
Awesome.
there we
Great.
go. Here it is. Okay,
Very
we'll
good.
go back to the fence stuff, yeah,
Sure.
okay.
There's my fence.
I think, yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go.
Chris Hillman,
Yeah,
fence.
yeah.
Thank you.
All my
I'm
work,
gonna
I get,
start just
don't push
by-
no against it signs.
There it is. I read this to you very quickly, just to set the, because it struck me as interesting. From the Turner Public Spirit, April of 1910. Work has commenced in earnest on the railroad grounds on Main Street. This is 1910 now, 106 years ago. Work has commenced in earnest on the railroad grounds on Main Street, and men have been busy for 3 or 4 days in setting out shrubbery, which when blossomed and leaved out will be a beautiful sight to behold.
Look at it.
Yes, I'm being, you're learning how my tactics are how, yes. The storekeepers and the townspeople in general will greatly appreciate this and all feel more than thankful to the Boston and Maine Railroad for their efforts in making Main Street a veritable beauty spot. So what happened over the last 106 years?
Well, we had a drought.
Okay. Could you do the next image?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the subject offense that we're talking about, and yes, and thanks, Selectman Hillman has championed this for some time, but this is, this is the nature of what's doing out there. What's powerful to me is this is right across from our town hall, which is our finest iconic building. The quality that went into this building, its restoration, everything about it. It's the showpiece. You look across the street, and it's a disgrace of our town. So, the good news now, we are looking then at a new fencing treatment, and this is the type that I sort of went forward with to consider. Now, this is Ameristar. I've become an expert, by the way, in fencing. Oh, I never, my God. Echelon Ameristar aluminum fencing, but this is very heavy duty. This is 3/4 inch thick in terms of the wall. So this is, some of their heaviest duty material. I've sat down with Public Works Director Wetzel, reviewed this, and he has approved it, said, yeah, this spec, what this is, will function out there, will perform very good. We've also submitted all the specifications and our estimates and everything to the MBTA, Kevin Biggins.
Very
And-
good guy, actually.
sorry?
He's a good guy. He's
He
one
is
of
a
the
great,
few, yeah.
I'm telling you, what a great professional and a
I
pleasure to
agree.
interface with.
Yep.
And I just spoke with Kevin. We sent all this to them a week ago. Kevin and I spoke today, and we got good news today. He said, Alan, we reviewed this. We approve it. We like it. Specs, just in terms, again, if it's what it is, durability, great. But we also wanted to interface with our local plow operators. And Doug, I believe it was Doug, we had a conversation as well. Carly connected us, just to have a practical discussion about this being, because I know the issue is when snow is plowed, and we noticed there are 3 beautiful signs there right now, do not plow snow against the fence.
No, that's what we got when we
Right.
asked them to,
Okay.
It's dedicated to Chris Hellman.
because one wasn't enough.
Okay, but Doug and I have a good conversation. His main concern is, it's the actual sidewalk plow thing. He said, Alan, we just want to make sure where that fence is set, that there's enough room there, so that as we're setting that machine aside, it doesn't catch on this fence and damage it in any way.
Mhm.
So the main thing is, Alan, we all work together if we go forward with this, and its installation and placement with all of them, absolutely. So we did some quick estimates here on this, and you see a few there. So, Middlesex fence right here in Harvard, 14,009. By the way, this is, 340 linear feet. 5-foot high fence running the thing. 13,415 from a company out in Leominster, and you see a little higher there from a company in Billerica. So there is, a significant cost. This is the material cost. We're right now negotiating with the MBTA, and they're saying that if we can bear the cost of the material thing, they will actually do the installation and bear the cost. But we're going to be required to do the maintenance down the road, and so we got to take real good care if this happens. Now, if we don't want to go this way with this type of product, we can go with a black chain link fence, powder covered, and there we are, at 8,736. I will just say on behalf of the Department of Community and Economic Development, and just for this site in particular, across from our town hall, and how important it is. I think it's important for our downtown and just everything we're trying to replace, making economics, that we start moving beyond chain link fence air. If you catch my drift. I could say that as a good boy from back Central Lowell, who grew up and jumped a lot of
Not to
chain link
interrupt,
fences.
But I'm surprised, now that I see, it's not, to get the much upgraded, it's not,
The differential
yeah,
is,
$5,000 is,
it's not outrageous.
No,
I
I
it's-
actually thought the chain link would be
Right.
a lot cheaper, but
Right.
I agree. It's just,
Um,
and I've discussed this with Alan before too, it's what they're gonna do on the other side of the tracks once the new fence is in is
Right.
key as well.
Thank you, and that's why I showed
Yeah.
those shots. And this, what I think, folks, is, with everything we're doing, we need to lead by example. We need to do it well, so then it gives us the leverage with them to say, you see, we're trying to do quality. And by the way, why are we doing all this down here and what we hope to do with the station? We want to increase ridership. commuter rail ride. That's their goal, it's our goal. And the only way if we're gonna be honest with ourselves, we have to improve the overall experience, the quality of it, and then people will feel much more hip saying, love going down there and getting on the train. It's beautifully designed, it makes us feel good to be on the train. We all know this is basic human nature. So this will give us a leverage that when we approach, say, guys, we really went above and beyond here, and we're tight, as, you know, money is, you know, we gotta be very frugal, but, so guys, step up to the plate, join us. Let's get this cleaned up on your side. And I think it'll give us the leverage.
Cool.
And-
So we have funds available?
Well, so procedurally, Mr. Chair, the plan is,
Sorry.
and Alan said the MBTA would do the labor and so forth, is, I've asked Alan to prepare this, we wanted to get your input. We would submit this through the FY18 capital, to the capital planning committee, because it would be over $10,000 in one-time expenditure. Put it through have it go through the budget, if you will, and plan to do it,
Spring, summer.
but yeah, yeah.
That's what should be great.
Are they still gonna remove the brush? I mean, we've been going back and forth with that
Yes.
Yeah,
forever.
to add to that, I mean, Alan showed just a couple of his hit parade of the photo album. He has been aggressively, in addition to this, cleaning this up, we've had preliminary conversations with them.
Towards
at
the post
plat-
office side there.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
platform as well. There is a lot of work
That's
that they need to
Crap
do.
there.
Right.
Right.
But
We
yes.
want- And what I want to do is, we're very hip to doing charrettes. I want to do a little mini charrette for this place and invite them, because I have some ideas and concepts. And by the way, we really want to do something really nice with the waiting station in terms of wayfinding signage, interpretive heritage stuff. This little structure fascinates me. We could do so many creative things with that little structure, but you're right, they need to clean their stuff up, the fence, and then I'll tell you, it becomes a really magnificent.
You can do banners like people in train, you know,
This is
some
it.
event that's coming up.
This is it. So, there we go. It's a great project. And we're glad, you know, that the selectmen got keyed in. It seems like not a big thing, but it's these little things you do in aggregate that transforms a place. And makes it
And this
really-
Mr. Biggins has been pushing this for a while. I mean, he wanted, I think he met with Robert 2 years ago, when we first started talking to Mark Boyle. And I know when I met him out there the day they removed the snow there a couple months ago, he's like, I put it through. And, you know, he wanted it done.
Yeah.
It got shot down higher up, but he's been an advocate, so.
But
I know
Kevin,
he-
you're right, he's a great guy.
He's on board
So-
with it.
And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I know I gotta keep moving here because you have other.
Yes.
So, okay, and just finally, quickly, the historic, there it is, Air Central Fire Station. So we issued RFPs, you know, in late August. Good RFP, I must say. I never got so many wonderful remarks from everywhere as to the RFP. It's like, wow. I even got a job offer to do an RFP for another town. 'cause they
You're
saw
not
it.
going anywhere.
No, I didn't mean that job. I mean a contract, a little. they
Okay,
want me to
just
do
make
it.
sure, we're not losing you. Don't you even think about it.
No. By the way, I said no to them.
Good.
But, so we issued that first one. Folks, here's the reality now. We only got one response from the first issue of it. And I sent this thing out directly to many. But this is the only way you can test the market and get a sense of what's really doing. That one proposal was submitted was not, they didn't meet the requirements of the submission. We reissued again a second time. I just wanted to see what happened. So folks, the deadline was this past Monday, yesterday. We have one submission. Why this is this. Why this is not hot, for a couple really quickly. It's just like any product, like if you have a house or a car, anything that's just been out in the market long, sitting there for sale, it starts getting a stigma. This has been out too long, for too many years out. Everyone's like, oh, this again. That's part of the market dynamic. The second thing is, the building is not large, it's not a lot of square footage. If you put $1.5 million in, which is what it's gonna take, there's not enough critical mass in the building to generate enough cash flow to get your money back in a reasonable amount of time. Most of the folks we talk to, they don't want to be into this for more than $300,000 of their own money. Because if the thing goes right with the units we're looking, whatever, it might generate about maybe $5,000 or $6,000 a month. You do it in the year, all right, so it's generating me,
Yeah.
it'll just take too many years to get it back. If it was a bigger building, it'd generate more cash, all this stuff. The other problem is the additions that were put on it. They're like, we gotta demolish these additions, we don't know what we're gonna deal with, what's under it, so it's just all these things. But we have a proposal in, and it's a good proposal in some ways. It's a challenging proposal in other ways. I sat with Rob today. What we'd like to do is we're gonna go through this thoroughly. We want to interface with the submitter of the proposal, and then I want to write up a full report and present this to you at your next BOS meeting. And then we really look to you to make the decision on whether we
Has
go
the
with
Shoulder
this.
Tech ever built a place?
They,
Rehabbed a
rehab, no, this would be, and they're out of that. They used to, when I was there, they take on smaller projects now. They used to do houses where they would come in and start to finish,
place?
but this would be
Yeah.
years, for them. I mean,
It's a great.
good idea,
building,
but I
so-
think, it's such a massive,
All right, we waited this
undertaken.
long, we can wait a little longer.
might fall
This
down.
is it. And, well, all right, I'll stop at that because we'll have a report and get all the nuances of it. So, that's, I think
Robert?
you want to also Peroni Park?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I spoke to Jason and Jeff today, they couldn't make it, but, so, last year we talked about at Capitol, it's on their plan, a walking path to benefit the entire community, basically
Yeah,
on the
water.
outskirts of the park,
Mhm.
down by the pond, up and around. I mean, I haven't seen a schematic yet, but after we talked about the land up on Pleasant Street, I got thinking, could we possibly use CPC money for this? And Beth Sudemeyer said that she thought it would be something that would qualify for that because it would be benefiting the community as a whole. Elderly, not just kids at the park. So I guess I wanted to get the ball rolling on that to see if that is something that we could possibly do. And also I wanted to ask with Alan here is Littleton received quite a few grants for their basketball courts and stuff and playground. I think it was $25,000 from the state or something from Arcero secured for that. So I was kind of hoping we could at least get the discussion going on that, which Jason and Jeff were in favor of. Instead of, before they put it through capital, because I know they have a lot of things going on in the future
And
down
this,
there.
strictly going through CPC or?
I don't know. I mean,
other funds,
it's obviously preliminary. I know we talked
Mhm.
last year at Capitol about giving them a feasibility study down there.
Yeah.
To kind of wrap everything in, because I know they want a building, and then there's people that say it's in a floodplain, and it's just like we need experts to come in and kind of
Mhm.
determine the stuff. We have who knows how, I look at a walking path and think it's cheap, but then you get into state bid stuff and all that stuff, and then it drives the cost up.
Right.
But if it was available, I mean, the funds are just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I don't know if I agree with Beth, because I think if it's an improvement to the park had to be bought by CPA funds.
And
From what I
that could,
understand, the town of Newton had there was a suit, a bunch of people sued the town of Newton because they used it the wrong way, and
Mhm.
it had to do with something like that. Now, I could be wrong. In Mass General Law 44,
44, yeah, it's one of them, 44, yeah.
yeah, and that could very well be the case. And maybe we reach out to Keith over in Littleton too to see what because Jim Carr, I believe, told me that was was it CPCA or something?
CPC.
CPA, Community Preservation.
Well, for what it's worth, I'll say this Peroni Park is an extraordinary asset, and to me, the most compelling thing about it is just the water feature of the pond.
I agree.
We have these amazing bodies of water right here
Yeah.
in this urban core, and you're right, I look at the park, it's, both, athletic fields and all that, but there's a huge opportunity to, what you say, make it so that it can be used and designed for many experiences and uses. And I think anything you can do to get people more connected with the water out there, then that's what will drive eventually, and I know it'll
Mhm.
take a generation or two to mitigate the contamination that's in the ponds out here, but the only way you
Not to
start
swim in
is by getting people closer and closer to the water, and then they become,
Yeah.
they start
Yeah.
really,
Well, make it more of a community. I mean, right now, you get people like myself or children that live there in spring and summer and
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
And then you get people go down for the 4th of July. But I mean, if you can get people down there that wouldn't normally go down there,
Right.
would obviously make it a much more,
Mhm.
busier place year round. And also, the Parks Department really works on a shoestring budget. We know how they do it. I mean, they have new backstops down there that are all paid for by the signs all the companies pay for. You know, they use that money. So they could use some assistance and at least trying to help them, guide them with this, because they have one full-time employee who works a lot. I mean, he's working now, coaching basketball, so I couldn't make it. So I think it would be good for us to help them along the way. I'm going to meet with them next week to kind of discuss and help them with the, you know, capital stuff. And
Right.
and Jason had asked if maybe Alan could look into whether there was grants or what other towns did and stuff like that.
Yes, with pleasure.
And
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that, why don't Alan and I will meet with Jeff on the walking paths specifically, and the timing is correct, as you mentioned, the capital is coming up, so they will be submitting their proposals. Talk to them about the walking path, let's vet out the CPC issue, because, you know, get that vetted out. Because also, I know Alan looked extensively at the Kitty Junction issue when he first started here, and unfortunately, and it wasn't from lack of trying, we've run up against some technical and some contamination roadblocks that we still have to address. So this is the time, we'll meet with Jeff and Parks to talk about that, because there's a lot that needs to be done down there, and as you know, Capital has discussed it, and Capital wants to help, but we need to get Parks and Capital and everybody.
And
on the
after
same
their
page.
in their defense, because I found it frustrating at first, but now that I kind of get it, it's Jeff who's a million miles an hour at everything, and then you have their, you know, other board, you know, obviously the chief of police, Mark, they're all full time, so they can sit down and delegate their capital planning. These guys are,
Right.
you know, full time workers. I mean, essentially, like, really don't have the staff. I mean, we rely on Robert and Carly. I mean, that to do a lot of that stuff that they don't have that. So in order to help them with that, I think, because it's hard for them, because I know they want to do a lot, but I mean, to put in the, you know, the paperwork and the stuff to, you know, it's easy to say I want a walking path. It's the logistics and of all the stuff they do want down the road that they could probably use some help with. So
All right. Sounds good.
all right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Hey, Robert.
So, Mr. Chairman, through you to the board, at the last meeting on November 1st, there was discussion came up about the future use of the USO Advocates building. And since that time, there have been some new developments. As the board is aware, the town acquired that through eminent domain on May 9th, specifically to be used for a public transit-orientated purpose. We owned it come July, if you will, when it was finalized. And as you know, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mark's been before you in open session and said in their opinion that the building ideally should come down for the purposes of the project to improve access to the platform, parking, circulation, so forth. The Weston and Sampson consultant, which we're only a couple weeks away now, is preparing design scenarios to start the public discussion that do include the building and don't include the building. Since that time, 2 weeks ago, Mart indicated to the town that if the town determines, which would be through the Board of Selectmen, if the town decides that the building should go, that Mart would pay for the demolition of the building, which is a game changer for that scenario, because when we own the building, the issue of demo would still come up with the issue of demo funding, which could run, you know, anywhere from 100 to 150,000. Since then, Alan did do his 2-day design charrette, which there was a lot of energy and enthusiasm at. It was the second day, was filmed by APAC, so that should be showing at some point, and really got folks discussing and looking at the space, if you will, and what would be the best use for it. So with that, I think the purpose of tonight's discussion from you as the board is to look for some direction on that. It seems that the board has said publicly, Mart has said publicly, that all indications are that, especially now that Mart will pay for the demo, we're moving in the direction of, if you will, relocation with the demolition. And there would be 3 phases to that. One is that because we are a municipality and there are 2 tenants, and there's a whole legal process we have to follow in terms of relocation. We would have to do the relocation piece, and then at the conclusion of the relocation piece, if it's determined to demolish the building, then Mark would commence with the demolition of the building. The timeline for all of this would be for the demo piece. We're not talking about the rest of the project yet to be completed, you know, in the spring, because there's a period for the relocation. So, as the board is aware, when I put together the FY17 budget, which we're in now, there was $20,000 put in the town council budget for relocation, for the relocation consultant. I have met with a firm on that that is ready to go to work with the town on the relocation piece. That's a whole process which involves formal notices, the whole, we spent a good 2 hours, Alan and Carly and I, with them just to understand the whole process. One of the things is the board's aware, and we talked about this before town meeting, that's just the relocation piece. The actual relocation costs will be determined by this process. When we get that dollar figure, if you will, we'll have to have a serious discussion as to where that funding will come from, because that funding was not, it is not in the FY17 budget. Since then, I have informally have indicated both to Advocates Inc. and to the Ross Fitness that it looked like that we were moving in a direction that we would be moving towards relocation and ultimately demolition of the building, and that once we had a formal direction on that, we would move in that point. So I guess the purpose of this on the agenda tonight is you as the board to see if we should move, if we have authorization to move with the relocation, and then authorization to move forward with the demolition.
The relocation, you mean, is essentially finding them a suitable alternative that works comparable to what they have now in the region?
Yeah, there's a couple of things in the process because we're a municipality, and this is why we need the consultant, and I can realize this after, something that town council doesn't do. Town has to get certified as a relocator, which we would, and there are a couple options in the statute. One is in lieu of actually finding a location and paying for moving costs, you can pay, I'll make it simple, a lump sum, if you will. Ultimately, that'll be the decision of this board. We're not at that point. Then there are the moving costs in the relocation of another location for them. I think, some of the tenants may have a location in mind. Some of the tenants may have also hired folks to assist with that. I think in the case of the Advocates, where they've been a long-term partner with the town through the grant and so forth, Alan and I have indicated to them that ideally we'd like to find them a location in Ayer to keep them here. I know the proximity to the courthouse is of interest to them, but that's why we'd get the consultant on board.
So relocation fees should not be dramatic because it's more moving.
Yeah.
It's not purchasing or anything like that. It's just a matter of
Moving barbells and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's moving, and it's also, I mean, again, there's the whole process. Nothing is ever simple.
No.
It's moving,
I guess what I was trying to say was I don't want to scare people and say like, oh, this is going to be $200,000 to get a moving truck.
I mean, it's hard to. We have to do the process to get the figure. I think the key piece, and we talked about this, as the board knows, even before town meeting, that this would probably be a likelihood, and that when the moving happens, what those moving costs are, we're going to have to find the money for them.
I'd like to get this process going.
I couldn't agree more because regardless of whatever we decided with the building, they're not going to be tenants of it, more than likely. I don't want to be a landlord. No, and that exactly. So
And if I, just real quick to Selectman Luca, a good point. Since July, we have become, the town has become, if you will, a landlord, which, as we all know, no town wants to be in the landlord business. It's no reflection on the tenants. But very rapidly, we've already have spent some funds through the facilities department on utilities and some minor improvements and so forth that need to be done. The building is on the municipal insurance ledger, But moving forward, the longer that we do have the building in its current capacity, there's going to be increased physical plant costs, which are costs to the town as well. We have vetted it internally. It is not an ideal structure for municipal use in terms of municipal offices or storage, and that goes back to the eminent domain article of town meeting. It's for a public transit orientated
Correct.
purpose.
Right. And we've talked about it before, that
Yeah.
we really want bathrooms in there, and that we were going.
That is the
People coming
MBTA's
off the-
responsibility.
Right, coming off the train and going in there and
Nope.
sleeping for the night.
After they leave their marijuana retail store.
Yeah.
And one of the things, just real quick, what Alan began to touch upon with his charrette, which we need to do some more work here as well as some more of the public process, is that when the building comes down, the true challenge is to maximize that space in terms of its function, but also of its aesthetic. And it goes into some of Alan's other pictures where you, if you've been down to the platform, after Pan Am and the MBTA have done all this track work and stuff, they've left these steel piles of, that's all gotta get cleaned up. I talked to Mark Boyle about that when he was here last, so it's not, the relocation that would be the first step. The demo is the easiest part of it, and that's Mart's thing. The real challenge will be integrating it so it has the best form and look to it.
Well, Matt also said when I had gone to another meeting that they'd make it aesthetically pleasing
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
not
I
just
think
leave it like
hold their feet to the fire.
an empty lot.
And the MBTA and Robert and Carly were there. I asked them point blank, Ron Boyle and Mark, I said that
Mark
wrong.
Boyle.
Ron Morgan and Mark Boyle, when we were down there with the stuff that's been there, rail ties and steel guardrails they've made over there. And I said, and they agreed. I said, this has got to get cleaned up. And they said several times it would. I think they've cleaned up some, but
Well,
it
and
definitely needs
Alan
more.
has met actually with the rail yard. I think he's the first municipal visitor they have ever had, and has made it clear about, there is a lot of work that needs to be
Yep.
done there. But I think the game changer too on it was up until 2 weeks ago, the issue
Yeah.
of the demolition of the building would have fallen to the town. It was outside of the scope of the grant, and we're not talking about grant funds. Mark said that they would
Yeah.
pay for the demo, but that the town needs to decide how it wants to proceed.
Mhm.
And the relocation process legally, under the statute, from the time that a formal notice is given, they have up to 4 months. So to your point,
Get it done.
Selectman Luca, we would want to start this process.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So so respectfully, to conclude tonight, what we're looking for is direction on, I would say respectfully, a motion to authorize the relocation, which then we will move forward with that. And secondly, a motion for the demolition of the building. Mark would be looking for something from the board on that.
Chris?
I'll start with, I would like to make a motion that we direct the town administrator to proceed with the process of the relocation of the 2 tenants at the Advocates Building, starting, I guess, immediately.
Second.
Discussion? Chance, you have anything? No. You want 2 motions on this? Or?
Yes, so
Yeah, I was
the
gonna do
first would
2,
be
yeah.
for relocation.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody?
Said I.
Oh, no, you want to go?
Oh, yeah. I'd make a motion that at the directive to the town administrator, to Mart, that the Board of Selectmen would like the building raised or demolished, as stated by Mart, under their, at their cost, as soon as possible.
Second.
Yeah, I'm glad you put that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much our intent, well, mine anyway, is knock it down, get them out, not to be harsh.
I
They've
understand.
been good tenants and everything
Complete
else.
the relocation.
Right, and then, my etiquette isn't as good as yours is. And then just move from there to demolish the building and,
Yeah, we didn't take the building because it was out of the way.
we don't want this to be like a fire station thing, so.
No, I agree.
Good call.
Yeah.
All right.
You didn't.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair says aye.
One final point, then with that, I did the relocation expert will come out in future time. Would like to just meet with the board at a meeting to explain the process and so forth. And we will keep you updated on that.
Great,
So-
sooner the better.
Is it 4 months now from, do you have to
From when the
notify?
notice is given, but
Okay.
we called on the recommendation of town council, went through the whole vetting of relocation firms, and we have a firm that is selected that has experience with transit-orientated issues. It came under, like I said, we budgeted 20,000.
Mhm.
Their cost is 15,000 for the relocation. So,
Okay.
So as soon as you direct them, so 4 months, the clock is starting soon then?
yes.
Hopefully within a week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Good. Good, that
Alright.
puts us in the spring at the worst case
Yeah.
scenario, so.
okay.
Okay.
All right, then real quick, in the interest of time on the town administrator's report, very quickly on the administrative update. Again, I know it was mentioned by the chair, I would just like to say from my office, congratulations to the town clerk and the tax collector's office during the election. The town clerk did a fabulous job, especially with early voting being new. She ran that and her team very smoothly, but also while early voting in the election was happening, the quarterly taxes were due. So the tax collector was a very busy, it's always a very busy office, but just extra thanks to all of their efforts. We are going to be focusing on the FY18 budget, and as you can see later, I've asked Ms. Cabri, we have the bands at the end. We just want to take a few minutes through the board to give a FY18 budget snapshot as to where we're looking to head with the budget. There'll be more discussions, obviously, with this board moving forward. The capital process, as mentioned, is going to be underway very shortly. Also,
12th?
we will be...
Mid-December?
Yep, and so it's timely with capital requests. Also, I met with Selectman Livingston last week, and we were discussing, and I'm just waiting for the DPW superintendent returns, I think tomorrow or Thursday. We need time for a rate review committee meeting as well to look at preparation for the water and sewer rate.
Sooner.
Sooner
No,
than-
sooner.
right.
Sooner. Sooner
Okay.
than January.
Potentially, yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we need to meet sooner.
So, so we're now into full budget mode. Also, as mentioned, I just want to, Carly has done a great job with the holiday lights this year, both in the fundraising. There's going to be more lights at the Rotary, the Garland, as everything mentioned. She also has all of the licenses are out, so the license renewal process is underway. We'll be doing them in December. Lastly, as you know, the Board of Assessors will be coming before you the next meeting on December 6th for the tax classification hearing, and we'll be submitting that ad tomorrow to the paper. So with that, there are two appointments tonight. Both are to the Memorial Garden Committee. The first is Miss Ruth Romanis of Ayer to a one-year term on the Memorial Garden to expire on June 30th of 2017.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And the second one is a Miss Carol Bousquet of Ayer to a one-year term on the Memorial Garden Committee to just expire June 30th of 2017.
So moved.
Seconded.
Yeah, second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. And the next item, and I know that Mr. David Berry is here, there's an application for a one-day outdoor beer and wine license for November 23rd for Carlin's. And you have the application in the packet.
Is that Thanksgiving
It's
Eve?
Day before.
Yeah.
What day was it gonna be for again?
The 23rd.
What's that?
Oh, there it is, right,
Wednesday?
right.
Kylie, everything's in order?
There was just, you'll see in your packet, there was concern about the 250, the crowd manager training, which Mr. Berry has, and he has since brought in another certificate for another one of his employees. So there's will be two crowd manager training credentialed employees there.
We're talking a tent?
A tent outside, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
9 to 1.
Yep.
and Mr. Barry knows, I've talked with the ABCC,
Mhm.
it's all separate, you can't bring outside drinks inside, can't bring inside drinks outside. It's gotta remain separate, the drinks under the tent.
So if you have a drink in the tent, you can't walk inside? And if-
Exactly.
Okay, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that's clear.
So
Okay.
there'll be a server outside,
Yep.
much like the downtown celebration we've had in the past.
And beer and wine only outside.
And then there'll be, is it a fenced in, like, will it be temporary fencing, David?
Yes.
Okay, so people can't just wander off from the,
Correct.
okay.
I really should.
No, I mean, it alleviates them with, obviously, overcrowding issues. It's a big night,
Mhm.
obviously, for a lot of people. They come back.
So I entertain a motion for,
So I'd like to make a motion that the application for the one-day outdoor beer and beer and wine license for Carlin's for November 23rd, in the hours of 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. be approved by the board.
Second, with just one question. Dave, do you have to put in more security for that? Bouncers or however you describe it for outside and inside?
Right, I also put extra lights in the parking lot as well.
Okay. All right. Second.
anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Board.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
The next item, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the planning board has resumed the zoning bylaw review with RKG and Judy Barrett. And part of that is the question, and this comes from the planning board to the Board of Selectmen, the issue they're looking for guidance on has to do with the special granting permit authority as it pertains to the Aquifer Protection District. And what the issue is currently in the town of Ayer, that special granting authority has been with the Board of Health. And you can see from what RKG has submitted, under Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, the special permit granting authority may be the Board of Selectmen, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Planning Board. It doesn't mention the Board of Health, and the trend across the Commonwealth is usually the Aquifer Protection Zone. The granting authority is the Planning Board. The Planning Board, and this is still in the review process, but Chairman Fay and the consultant had asked if the board would be notified of this, and if you had any thoughts or preferences on that. This is part of their review.
Was this the what I was questioned and emailed to you guys last week about the person and consultant, or remember I said that reached out to me about?
Yeah, it was unsure.
Yeah, and I was confused, so I
Yeah.
sent it to you guys.
We were confused.
Yeah, so I'm still confused.
I have an epiphany.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. The consultant bylaw that we marked obsolete, is that confusing them? To the question that he had asked?
I was confused, so I just thought
Does
I
that
thought
confuse them because
I was giving enough information.
Now we know how to have the town bylaw, we go by the state bylaw?
it was something about a legal opinion, and I knew nothing, so I
Yeah.
just said that I would
I
ask.
just don't know, I don't know, it just came
But it's hard for me to ask, but I don't
You
know.
know.
I don't think the consultant bylaw has anything to
No.
do with this.
This
No.
issue came.
Well, no, but that was based on the question.
It was
he had
somebody,
sent
yeah,
us.
and I like I said, I was vague, so I
Yeah,
just dawned on me when you had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, this issue came up when Judy Barrett came for like that all boards meeting last year.
Yeah, the planning board had her come here.
And so.
yeah, a month ago.
Right. No,
And
no,
they're
no,
just now-
this came up over a year ago.
Right, no, I know, I'm
Okay.
saying then they're just now asking the question.
Because, yeah, there was that delay because she had a family thing. So now they're restarting that process and they're still looking for direction, as I understand it, on this piece.
What I'm saying is they could have asked us months ago too.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it can expeditely fire, you know, when,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I guess my concern is if we give them the control, do things, and I'm not taking a shot at them because I know there's a new chairman and stuff like that and a couple new members, but are we going to be bogging things down because it seems to take a lot of time to get the easy stuff moving?
I mean, right now.
I mean, and I don't
it's-
mean that to be a jerk, I'm just saying, like I said, there's new members, so maybe things will change, but
Judy is looking at it, I think, and I haven't discussed this with her, but from a very technical legal point of view, meaning under Chapter 40A, if you were to look at Chapter 40A, it lists all these entities out of the granting authority, or it could be the Board of Selectmen and so forth. The statute doesn't mention the Board of Health. Now, the fact that the Board of Health is not a violation of the law. In this case, in Ayer, it's been the Board of Health for quite some time. They're asking, because they're doing this review, is the intent to keep it with the Board of Health. There, when I say they, the consultant is stating
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
it should be
understand,
the
yeah.
planning board or the zoning board or the board of like one of the entities listed under the statute. It's a consistency argument. I would respectfully recommend that it not be the Board of Selectmen and or the zoning board of appeals. I mean, I think the option is either you keep it with the Board of Health or to the planning board. And I don't know what the planning board's opinion on it. They just.
yeah, no, I guess.
I
what-
would think the Board of Health.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
Mary, you're the chair of the Board of Health, do you have any?
I remember when way back when we did this, and I have piles of stuff at home, and there didn't seem to be a problem with the Board of Health doing it. And that was probably way back when they discussed it, maybe around 1999.
Oh, so, I mean, this is just one of those things that things were done, and
Well,
when you really start to look into it, or the state starts to pay
yeah,
attention.
when you
then,
get into the legal issue, I mean, the chapter, and nobody's done anything wrong, but under chapter
No,
48,
yeah.
if you look at section 1A, the argument is because statute doesn't list
Yeah.
a Board of Health in general, that it should be the planning board or the zoning board or the Board of Selectmen.
And you don't think it should be us? Your own opinion?
My own opinion, it's largely a land use type
Okay.
of thing, so
Right.
Planning board.
respectfully, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not a reflection at all on the Board of Health,
Mm-hmm.
per se. And this would still have to go through, this is part of their review, it would have to go to town meeting and so forth.
What town meeting?
Well,
Oh, it'll be,
I mean,
Yeah, what,
Palooza.
the town meeting when they finally bring the bylaws?
well, I know they've been working on it, but I mean, that was my concern, because I think, I maybe I haven't sent it yet, but I was gonna send something to Jim about tying the marijuana in
Which
with the
they-
planning board. We need to have a joint meeting and work on that eventually, because we need to
yeah.
But
not,
that was mentioned, quite honestly, again, that was brought up in 2012. It was mentioned again when it was even brought up to them at their own public hearing prior to that town meeting of 2014. Crickets from them. We're now moving into 2017.
which a much more dangerous.
So, you know,
thing coming at
it's really, you know, the letter that we're sending, it really has got to say, the fire is lit. It's about an inch and a half from you. You're about to go up in flames if you don't get something done.
I can't blame the planning board totally on this because of the Judy Barrett thing, and they want to get it right. They don't want, and this, I could never be a planning board member. I can't understand half of the stuff. It's unbelievable,
Also, Mr.
the
Chair,
extent.
we did check with town council about like, where would it kind of fit better? And his thought was, you know, a site plan review, they look at drainage, runoff,
right.
Mhm.
calculations,
Right.
and this all plays into that. That's why they, not all the time, but more often than not, they see with the planning board, because they're kind of looking at this stuff anyway.
It almost seems like it should be conservation, like it should be Brian. I mean, I'm just saying, I know it's not listed, but he's full-time. I mean, he knows probably more about that than the volunteer board, but I'm not gonna, you know, to me, it seems like it would be under his purview.
Is that in there, conservation?
No. Okay.
I think we need to go by the Mass General Law.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I just didn't know if he was,
Planning
if
board.
Brian was listed.
Motion?
I make, what was the actual,
What's the question?
what was the, yeah, I mean, I know what the motion is, but what was the actual terminology for that we're granting them?
well, the question was, can the Board of Health retain its existing role as a special granting authority in the Aquifer Protection District? And the the response was that Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 1A defines special permit granting authority as follows. The Board of Selectmen, City Council, Board of Appeals, Planning Board, or zoning administrators as designated by zoning ordinance or bylaw for the issuance of special permits. And it said that we recommend that you refer this matter to council, which is, Ms. Antonellis mentioned, it was referred. They sided on, from a legal perspective, consistency with the statute of planning board.
Maybe this was what that question that I asked was about. Again, now going back to the aquifer, you would think it would be more conservation because they're gonna have to be involved anyways, but it's state of Massachusetts, whatever. I make a motion that the special permitting or granting of permits in the aquifer protection zone be transferred from the Board of Health to the purview of the planning board effective immediately.
I'm sorry. Point of information, it's just a recommendation from this board to the planning board. In other words, ultimately, town meeting will have to.
You approve the final bylaw.
Right, they're looking for your recommendation.
So it's a bylaw change, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's just a recommendation.
So we don't need to make a motion then,
Okay,
right?
all right,
Okay.
we recommend.
All right.
Why didn't he just ask that?
Planning board. Okay.
Lastly, with the new public records office, the new public records law going into effect on January 1st of 2017.
Congratulations. It doesn't come with any risk.
You're right.
Yeah, so-
As part of the Modernization Act, every town is responsible, and municipality, for having a designated public records officer. He or she is responsible for coordinating all of the public records requests of the town. And it just makes sense that be the town administrator. Moving forward as of January 1st, it's going to be 10 business days for all responses. They're requiring that everything be in electronic form unless it isn't in an electronic form. That they are also, whoever the officer is going to be is identified on the town website. They are requiring that the towns, cities and towns, which we'll get into later, publicize on the website, make sure all of the executive session minutes, they're really, with these new changes, are really focusing in on that and on compliance. So with that, I'm respectfully recommending that the board, and I happen to be it now, but that the board appoint the town administrator as the position, the town administrator as the public records officer for the town.
I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen appoint the town administrator as the town of Ayer's public records officer in accordance with the new public records law.
Second, unless Gary wants it.
No, I was thinking maybe the clerk treasurer.
I feel like Hillary at the debate over here.
She doesn't have enough to do.
Flies all over the place.
No, I'm only kidding. All in favor? Aye.
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 Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Doesn't come with any risk.
Because it's
Yeah.
gonna just, I don't know, it's silly.
So that, thank you, that completes my report.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got any new business, selectmen's questions?
Oh, we did them earlier.
I know you had mentioned Vitasoy, and Robert had sent out an
Yes.
explanation to it. Actually, one of my employees mentioned it.
My coworkers
and
were.
I followed up. Robert had sent Bridget's response today, and I couldn't attach from my phone to Bridget. But the only question I had was, it had been going on for a couple weeks, and we don't get it down our way very often. So you get like an hour or two of it, and then the wind changes. So it's rare. But I noticed it, and I said, we got to give him a chance. Every once in a while, things foul up.
Yeah.
And then I think I emailed you Monday morning, because I was leaving, and when I get down to Westford Road, it really is like, wow.
You did Selectman Livingston had.
Yeah, I had coworkers.
Yeah,
that
all right.
were like-
So I had given it probably two, and it was intermittent. Like, I'd be coming home at 8 o'clock at night and catch a whiff of it on Nemco. By the time I get home, I don't,
Right.
it's not there in my house. Sunday, it was very prevalent at the house. It was a beautiful day. We're outside. And then a couple people that I know at Mulberry went over there and snapped a couple of pictures, which I think I sent. But literally, the stuff coming out of the building. And then Robert followed up with Bridget, and then Bridget. But my concern is they made it seem like this was just something that happened, and you would literally have to not have the ability to smell to be within, I don't know, half a mile of the place when it smelled like it did. And I just wonder if we're gonna get away with it as long as we can until people start to really push, because I know they've been so good. You know,
we can't necessarily, I mean, this is really since they came on board.
Well, that's my concern.
Their first time, and, we really can't see what was going on within the building, so.
well, it was fixed. Like that's I guess that's my point. Like it would have been nice if they knew there was. I mean, like Gary said that the mailman or employees noticed it. You had people that noticed it. Obviously, I noticed it being down there. That they would have just sent out we're having issues to Bridget or to Robert that they can convey. So at least it's not, you're getting it from, I mean, I'm sure you got it from me, but I don't know if you had other people call. I'm sure Bridget's answer machine was full Monday morning.
Yeah, it should be more proactive than reactive.
And then they addressed
Well,
it.
also been like a communication in their chain of command that caused that
And then a
breakdown.
gentleman went over there, and they were very responsive. Like, I will give them that. They called him right back, and then he said, literally this morning, the gentleman Neil, who came here with the manager, knocked on his door and apologized, because last night it was brutal. Like, it was as bad as it had been.
Right.
And then today, from what I could tell from the brief time I was there and went home to shower to come here, it's gone.
Right.
So, I mean,
Well, a hot summer day with no air conditioner must be a pain, huh?
I honestly don't know how the people lived up in Mulberry for that long with the way it had been. So, I mean, it's been a huge improvement. It's just a little more proactive, and maybe they got that today.
Yeah. Well, it's nice Bridget was on top.
Yeah, it just seems like it got fixed very fast once the noise got made, and when it was. Do you understand my point? I guess, yeah.
No, absolutely.
So just 3 quick things. I think the Board of Health responded very
I agree.
timely to that, number one. Number two, the DEP has been notified, which they have to be, so they will be coming
Yeah.
out. The third thing is when the superintendent gets back, he'll be back either tomorrow or Thursday, and ask him to go down there, because I understand it had something, what they're saying is with the process and so forth, but all points well made as far as the response. The day that you really had it, I've been informed from the Board of Health, the prevailing wind was right for 5 Wagon Road.
Yeah, it really
So-
was. Sunday,
but-
that beautiful,
but,
most beautiful day of the fall.
Yeah, and there's new management there, I'm just saying, and they're making improvements, not making excuses because it's a horrible smell, but we will definitely convey the concerns and continue to. And if there hadn't been relief, in talking with Bridget, if there hadn't been relief, I mean, you have to go to the next level,
Well-
meaning have them come in and so forth, but I don't think we're there yet.
No, and I mean, when does it become a public house? Like, I mean, hopefully it never does, but does Bridget have the power or the EPA to shut them, DP to shut them down if it continued like it was last night? I mean, at some point, it's almost
Because they did
healthy.
have the health agent, I don't know his last name, his first name is Rick from Neshoba, was out there.
Yeah,
last
and Bridget
night
put that in
on-
the email and said it was horrible, and then they had to email back. And I give Neil credit to go up and knock on a resident's door who had gone
Yeah.
down there was admirable, to say the least. So I know they want to rectify it. I just don't know if it.
So they're all over it.
They are. It seemed
Yeah.
much better today. So hopefully.
But people should, as said, if they should call Neshoba Board of Health, it's important that they call if they have the odor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Approval of minutes, November 1st.
I make a motion that the meeting minutes from 1 November 2016 be approved as submitted.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Lisa,
I thought I had to read. I thought. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Didn't I have to
like-
read all those last
Lisa,
year?
and what's her name?
Lisa,
Sue.
and what's her
Oh.
name?
Hi, Sue.
Wow.
Susan, just how did the early voting go? Did it work out pretty smoothly?
It actually did, yeah. We had a total of 34% turnout.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was. I was.
And I think
following the
I think
update.
it's really good, especially for elderly, disabled. A lot of people took advantage of it because they were just able to come right into the office as opposed to, parking,
Yeah,
going down
up
the
the
hall,
stairs,
up the
yeah.
stairs, and
Right.
so and that helped with that as well, so
And it helped an
logistically
election
it
night,
was
too. It was, I mean,
figuring out how to run
I
it
came at
through.
7, it was a breeze. I mean,
Yeah,
4
we
years
had-
ago, I was down
Six
the
was
hall.
dicey and then the morning was
Yeah,
dicey.
yeah, Allison said the morning was busy.
Yeah, we had 2 lines. One was at the beginning of the day, at 6:30, they were already lined up down the hall here. But as soon as we opened the polls, we cleared it out
Yeah,
in
they
10
move
minutes.
fast up there, yeah.
We timed it, so within 10, 15 minutes. And then again, when we do the good old shift change
Yeah.
at 1 o'clock when everybody else likes to come. So we're trying to look into maybe doing it at a different time. But those were the only backups that we had, thankfully, for presidential. So it was good.
No, it's much better, a better turnout than 2012.
Yeah,
too, right?
75%.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right. Bands?
So we're here before you to renew some bands. Some of it was for the East Main Street water and sewer mains. Approximately $1.1 million of it is for that. And the rest for various authorizations that were approved at the May 12, 2015 meeting, town meeting, for water and sewer projects, water meter read radio systems, water main replacements, sewer meter read system and radio telemetry system, and solid waste paving, resurfacing of the paving lot, parking lot, and the new ambulance, $250,000, and the original authorization for Grove Pond Water Treatment Garage of $154,000. So it was approximately $2.1 million in bands. They went out for sale, and they sold at just under 1% net of premium. So this is very good, excellent, actually. It is about 0.5% higher, but the percentage rates are increasing in general. So it's still a very good interest rate. So there are some votes that you have to take per council, and I think Carly has those down.
You have Jen?
So just read the yellow part.
It's good that we get an interest rate. I don't think we've ever gotten one on paper.
All right, okay. So, how am I reading this? Just word, just say it voted? It just they're just started off different way. It just, something's missing here.
I thought I
My
had to read them all last year,
Because
but
that's actually
didn't I?
like the
I felt like I was reading
certification
something
for
for, or was
after,
that
so you say, I move
Stephanie
to
something
approve.
brought?
Yeah.
And
The
then
same
start
thing.
at the
That
bottom.
might be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was missing. I was like, that's not right. Okay. So I move to approve the sale of 2,128,106.
There's an extra 1 there.
Yeah, 161.
That's it.
Oh,
Aren't you supposed to read it all?
Well, thinking.
It's just a straight
I don't do
figure.
that, we'll be here till
It's a straight
10.
figure.
You don't have to do that.
Oh, so
We should have
Yeah.
practiced
We were
this at
told
dress
that
rehearsal.
he had to read
I had to read it all last year.
I'm gonna read
yeah.
it all. Okay. I, the clerk of the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Ayer, Massachusetts, certify that a meeting of the board held on November 15th, 2016, at which meetings all members of the board were duly notified, and at which a quorum was present, the following votes were unanimously passed, all of which appear upon the official record of the board in my custody. Now I'll make the motions. I make the motion to approve the sale of $2,128,161, which is 1.5% general obligation bond anticipation notes, the notes of the town dated November 18, 2016, and payable on November 17, 2017, to Eastern Bank at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $10,950.81. I further make the motion that in connection with the marketing and sales of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated November 2nd, 2016, and a final official statement dated November 9th, 2016, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. I further make the motion that the town treasurer and the Board of Selectmen be and hereby are authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15, Chapter 2-12, in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaking shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time.
I further make the motion that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to review the town's post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and to make such changes, if any, as the treasurer and bond counsel deem necessary to monitor and maintain the tax-exempt status of the notes. I further make the motion that each member of the Board of Selectmen, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes. I further certify that the votes are being taken at a meeting open to the public. No vote is being taken by a secret ballot. A notice was stating the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting, which the agenda included the adoption of the votes, and is being filed with the town clerk, and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, or if applicable in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed and approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.03 Section 2-B, at least 48 hours, not include Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, prior to the time of the meeting and remain so posted at the time of the meeting that no deliberations or decisions in connection with the sales of the notes were taken in executive session, all in accordance with general law, Chapter 30A, Section 18-25 as amended. Today's date, November 15th, 2016.
Second.
They did that to me on purpose, you know that.
I had to read it last year. I know I did.
I had to read the year before.
Yeah.
You probably didn't need to, you just did. So.
All in favor?
Yeah, we all like to read out loud like that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chair says aye. Yeah, like we really wanted, we were told we had to.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all even now. Next year, we can just cut it short.
But this is in the packet.
Yeah. Ready?
Okay, so now there's a series of paperwork, I'm sorry, that you have to sign.
Do you want to do it after this?
We could do it after.
Do you want to start it?
You want to start talking?
Right.
Do
This
this?
is going to be real
This will be
quick.
real quick.
So, Mr. Chairman, it'll be real quick, and then, as on the agenda, and the town accountant, I thank you for the opportunity. This is a FY 2018 preliminary budget snapshot. I want to emphasize preliminary. It's a budget snapshot as of today, November 15th, and it's a 50,000-foot view looking at the budget. We have a lot to do, a lot of discussion to move forward. And so we just wanted to highlight a couple of key points as we move forward in the budget process. And through you, Mr. Chair, I'll let the town accountant talk about the first point, which is the issue of the free cash.
Yes, so as you know, at the annual town meeting, we voted all of the certified free cash that was certified on June 30th, 2015. That was approximately $1.3 million. And then at this fall town meeting, this past fall town meeting, we voted $456,000 of the $1.2 million that was certified as of June 30th of 2016. So in all, we voted and used $1.8 million of free cash, which is extremely exceptional for this town. And you will also notice that we had a net remaining after we had UDAG replenishments totaling $655,000, other raise / transfer from free cash articles of $379,000, stabilization savings of $616,000, and OPEB savings of $300,000. We had a remaining $20,000 left. Now we only have the remaining certified free cash left of almost $800,000 going into this budget cycle. So you can anticipate, or what I estimated was that I took all the budgeted wages for FY17, including the amounts of wages that were authorized at the fall town meeting, and I bumped them by 2% because most of these people have contracts that require 2% increases. So that was about a $27,000 increase to the omnibus budget. I'm told by our benefits and payroll manager that we should expect double-digit increases in our health insurance, and at this point in time, 15%, which is another $225,000 increase on the omnibus.
We're still way ahead of the game.
The school assessments, I used a
agree.
past 3-year average, and for the Ayer Shirley schools, it was about 2.8%. And for the vocational schools, about 3.7%, or a total increase of around $304,000.
Have we gotten any preliminary, nudges from them on where they're at or what they're thinking?
There are two things real quick through the chair that we know. One is, we don't have anything specific on the assessment, but I think the town accountant's analysis of about a 2-point-something eight increase is in the ballpark. And secondly, at the last school committee meeting, they did authorize funding to do a feasibility study for the high school field project, which, fast forwarding as that moves forward, the project could be anywhere from $1 to $4 million, if they're talking in a range, that would be coming back to the towns for a portion of that. But it's not at that point. But those are the two things.
Probably, yeah.
And the third thing we continue to emphasize, and I did recently with the chair of the school committee, the importance, and town accountant and I have talked about it, all of you have talked about it as well, is what is the plan to address the elementary schools? That's not going to go away. We know it's not going to go away.
They're not getting better.
We know it's a big
wish
process.
it would work that way,
but we have to at least start the process. Anyway.
Process could be 10 years, but I couldn't agree with you more.
But to answer your question, that's all at this point on November 15th from the schools.
So OPEB savings, there was a recommendation by the OPEB committee based on our GASB 45 review update to have a 2-year contribution of $300,000 each. So this $300,000 has already been approved by the Board of Selectmen as well as the OPEB committee.
And the OPEB group, which Selectman Livingston is the chair, will be meeting to discuss what the recommendation will be for a year from now.
And we're ahead of that too, from a lot of communities, right? I mean, we've kind of.
I hate it.
Not the
No, but I mean, it's
communities,
no,
obviously.
but I mean, there's some communities that have done. I mean, we've been pretty proactive.
We have.
Yeah.
I know
As we
Gary's
should
been
be.
championing that, but
I'll get to see Gladys again.
I mean, I think as we should be, because that's one of, if you look at our bond rating report by the last one, it indicates that part of the reason why we're not even a higher grade is because we, are so far from that liability.
Yep.
So anyway, my concern is that we're falling away from our financial policies. We have been purchasing capital assets, purchasing them, for instance. Let me just get my notes. In the past 3 years, 2-3 years, we've purchased a $600,000 building, a $250,000 piece of land, and a $475,000 heavy rescue truck. We have to get away from all of those in our financial policies. I know there were timing issues on some of them, but all of them would require their own revenue stream. That meaning either a debt exclusion or a capital exclusion. And because we're falling from our policies, I mean, we have very good financial standing, and we have because we've had these policies in place for a number of years. And when times got tough and other communities were struggling and laying off people and having cuts in services, we were able to move forward.
We had that discussion
Right.
on 2 meetings ago, and
My
we understand that too. So.
My more immediate concern is that for FY18, we spent or used free cash, excluding OPEB savings, of about $1.6 million. We only have $500,000 this year. So that's something to consider. And we do, as Robert mentioned, we do have some large capital items coming down the line. And we put a significant amount into capital stabilization specifically last year because of those large capital items. We put $500,000 of the stabilization into capital stabilization. When the capital planning committee met last year, as you know, we receive a 5-year request. And I just want to mention some of the things that were out on those 5 years, besides the elephant in the room, the elementary schools, which have not been submitted to us. The library had a $1.5 million addition request for 2021. The DPW had a $1 million operations center for 2018. The DPW highway had a $500,000 storage garage for 2018. The West Main Street culvert / bridge and the Shirley Street bridges were a total of $1.6 million in requests, but the capital planning committee, due to the DPW superintendent's extreme concern about the condition of the bridges, requested that he seek funding with UDAG money to at least get a design, see what was wrong with it, see how, he made it seem like an emergency. He did, right?
Yeah.
It would cut the town in half, whatever. So that's still in the pipeline. The wastewater treatment plant upgrades from 2018 to 2021, $6.9 million.
That's
And
the
then there
elephant
was
in the room right
headway,
there.
right way.
Say that one again?
$6.9
Yeah,
million.
there's your elephant in the room.
For what?
Wastewater.
Elementary
Upgrades.
schools, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think-
60 million and
No,
up.
I think we're a little ways away from that. It's that wastewater, and I think that might be somewhat mandatory, correct? Right? Isn't there some?
Well, I think as the town accountant has illustrated, and I agree, I think the takeaway for tonight, and we'll have more discussions in a note for the time for tonight. Takeaways are, we are in good financial shape, and we have been through the testament of a lot of hard work, including what the town accountant is talking about, is getting back to those policies. Her comments, my comments are not reflecting that these projects weren't needed, that they're not important, but we're just putting the flag that the free cash is at 500,000, let's say, for the sake of discussion. The capital committee, more than ever, and this is not a reflection on them, you're the chair of it, I know Mary's been involved with it for years, more than ever in FY18 is going to have to be really vet these projects, because there's a lot included, and then the rate review committee has done a good job looking also at the water and sewer projects and trying to clean up the backlog. So I think as we move into FY18, free cash is on the radar screen, capital, getting back to some of these large things. I'll be talking to the departments too. There's always a lot of equipment requests that really have to be looked at. Vehicles, we've done a lot with vehicles, have to be looked at.
We should be away from that. I mean, we did the
Yeah.
fire truck too. We did the ladder one year, and I think we did the rescue truck.
I don't think we need a Bobcat.
But I think in talking with Lisa, and I think we'd all agree, and this board has talked about it too, is that if the current trend just continued, it's not sustainable. As we-
And we're in a financial bubble right now. I mean, obviously, we
Right.
know inevitably, and I'm already reading that there's already a shortfall with the state revenues, so who
Yeah.
knows what we're gonna be getting back from them, which seems to be less and less every
And I
year.
think the other thing, lastly, is in FY18, the board and the town has been very good to departments in terms of personnel and in terms of additional hours and additional positions. And now more than ever in FY18, I'm of the feeling, based here on November 15th, of moving in a direction that for FY18, no new positions, no new hours, and let things balance out. I mean, the board has done a lot. I mean, and there's not a reflection on the departments, but some of adding positions, increasing hours, that's great, but I think that also we need to let things balance.
I agree.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any discussion regarding replenishing UDAG anymore?
Well, the
I
concern
know
with
it's 6 months from now. but-
right,
We're not
that's
gonna be able to.
that's going to be, we're going to have to, in other words, we replenished 300,000. That's what we have. We need to honor that, but I don't believe.
300,000 of the building costs. We replenished
Right.
fire station land, we replenished the bridges engineering.
Right, but to your question, conceptually and philosophically, absolutely, we have to continue to replenish all of it. The challenge is, will we be able to do it again? I would have to say today on November 15th, it's a big question mark.
I think
Yeah.
likely not for 2018. but maybe
For 9, yeah.
in 19, maybe in 19.
And I'm assuming the state aid could go down dramatically, right? I mean, we don't know
Yeah,
based
we won't
on.
have much state aid.
I left it
No.
level funded.
Yeah,
That's the top
I-
line at
yeah.
$879,000.
Mhm.
I'd rather,
Not rely
I
on
would
that.
rather not rely on it.
No, because I've seen
Use
communities
that
do
like
that,
fund
and then it's
savings.
a
Yeah.
nightmare scenario when they cut.
Yeah, and we're in a better position than some of the cities rely a lot on state.
I mean, if you cut 10%, then it's not gonna really.
No,
Not.
Okay, thanks for the good news.
Well,
well, I mean, I mean, it's. I don't think it's bad news. I think it's just that.
I'm just.
It's kind of a downer, you know.
no, it's a cautionary
It's just
tale.
cautionary.
Yeah.
It's somewhat of that party that lost the presidential elections.
Oh,
attitude
no,
of-
we're not talking
No,
about
no, no,
that.
I'm just saying that you
No, no.
spend, I mean, it's easy to spend when the money's there. However,
Well, we had
you have
extraordinary
to look
things.
forward to see where the money's gonna come from eventually, because
Yeah.
ultimately you have to pay for this stuff and. no
One
wants
key
to
thing,
keep
right,
asking
one
for
of the key things is, yes, $600,000 was spent on an eminent domain acquisition. But by doing that, you leveraged an over $4 million investment into the town.
Well, that was also a very lengthy, multi-year process that finally was put to bed.
Yeah.
So that one was kind of an extraordinary scenario.
But it's Lisa, it's my job with Lisa, it's
Right.
our job with the departments to explain that the big ticket stuff, we have got to balance it out.
Well, I mean, I think it comes down to, you know, if there's, my parents would have always said, is there blood involved? Is water coming out of the walls?
Right.
Then,
Mhm.
the answer could be no.
So we will be doing more on this, obviously with you and through Bybor, but we thought we appreciate tonight, with town meeting over, election over, so we'll just do a snapshot for tonight.
Does
Not the
finance committee
complete-
have a quorum?
As far as I know through the chair, they still technically have a quorum. There's been no resignation submitted. They have 3 members.
I thought there was something after town meeting or something.
Yeah,
that was-
there was indication there
Yeah.
would be, but there's still 3 members.
Okay.
Does the personnel board have a quorum?
The personnel board has 3 members too.
Oh. I thought
Lisa?
Yeah, they didn't, but.
Yeah,
okay.
they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's three.
So,
All right. So we want to sign
so that would
those
just be the signs, and then there's just a
before we go
brief-
into
yes, yeah.
open, executive session? Yeah, thanks for taking so long in your presentation.
Yeah.
That was quick, I think.
She was quick.
You started 3 days ago.
Well,
Thanks,
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks for nothing.
How many signed?
55.
Not as many as Janice. She has to sign a few extra ones because she's the clerk.
Excellent.
I like it when it's just chair.
Better you than me.
Signature on the chair works.
Oops. Oops.
What's that?
I must drive people crazy.
I shake my leg a lot, just in the chair. Did you stay up for the whole election thing?
Yes, I did.
I went to bed at 4.
I was.
Finally give up, I think,
gotta
at
work.
1:45 a.m. to a.m.
Well, you know what happened? I dozed off and then woke up at like 12 and then was
You
like,
didn't, I saw you posted on sleep.
and then my daughter comes down, who knows nothing about politics, at 3, and says, Trump won. And I had to explain everything to her, why she was wide awake and how she knew Trump won at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a mystery, but
Hey,
I love watching elections.
things happen.
I love sitting there with my calculator and figuring out and watching the numbers. That part I love.
I think I went to bed too good.
yeah, I was just about there. When
I was worthless the next day.
Yeah. Well, little did I know from the 13-year-old that woke up at 3:30 that she needed to wake me up at 5 for help with homework.
Oh, good.
Pretty sure she failed that assignment because I could do it with my eyes.
It was interesting to
Did we
watch
just buy another
the
house?
dynamics of the states.
It was interesting to watch the dynamics.
Shirley. That they know county by county.
I cannot wait to go
Isn't it
camping in
amazing
this
how it
camper
changes?
again.
Like, and they're tallying like different towns and, but it was also.
Decked out, right?
It
Did
was
we get the
dynamics of watching
sunroof?
media outlets like,
Watch out, Yogi Bear
like
campground.
where, Fox was.
Hey, I like my Yogi Bear jellies, don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
I switched over to MSNBC.
Oh, that was.
We
getting-
tricked you out.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth from NBC to ABC.
Yeah, we have a new driller.
Yeah.
I didn't tell
Once
any of you guys
Pennsylvania was
that we have a
called,
new
they were like-
trailer. It's bigger.
Just about in tears.
And Michigan, he'll probably get Michigan too. Which is a good base going forward. But just the stats is just so many things that they look at.
You should have done the ones where you're gonna need their signature in a different color.
It's predicted before.
I didn't put the tabs.
Yeah. And it's funny because they talk about the popular vote.
That way you would know like which ones you needed, all three of us.
I think she beat Trump by 5 million between California.
Well,
and
you know, after
and New
10
York.
minutes of signing is something I noticed.
96% of Washington DC.
Well, no, next time.
She won all the other states, so.
But don't you think a candidate, this happened to Gore against Bush, but don't you think a candidate would try hard if it was a popular vote to visit
My
the state?
signature's
I
slowly
think
getting.
you
Yeah.
would see,
Canaan.
states like New Hampshire and stuff.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
Now, you would be a candidate, Montana, Iowa, and you would get the.
New York,
This is the last
California,
one.
You would get.
Illinois.
And that's the thing, and like,
Yes.
I
All right,
looked
I'll
into
try to
it,
do this one
it
next.
makes sense, because it
Yeah.
does spread out the diversity of,
Yeah.
different.
Thank you.
It would be a big deal. If,
Right.
you know,
I'll be right back.
So, to say to abolish it,
Yep.
it's there for a reason.
Sorry, I need top man.
Good call.
Thanks.
Really well.
Some big checks in there,
Shows
is
a
it?
lot of purpose.
Yep.
All right. Is it still open? And the reason I asked about the warrant is because you don't always send out, like, I usually assume Gary Jones get it. And then I thought you might have hidden it because of the traffic last week. Or when I came in to sign it, that's why I asked you about it when I sent you the email.
No, I just,
Didn't I send it out that there was one unknown?
You sent it out that you
Well,
needed
it worked.
signatures, and I came
Yeah.
like an hour or so later, and
I love it.
and then I went in after I voted, I'm like, couldn't find it. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I had.
maybe she
seen-
hid it, like,
did
because
give
of.
you kudos
Yeah,
earlier.
no, actually, I just saw two and I hopped.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure, because for some reason I had in my head that one of these guys was away or
Yes,
something.
did you? Yeah, no choice.
I know, no, it did go good,
Yeah.
thankfully.
I think that Earl's room was huge. No, that must have taken.
What I didn't understand is I watched the people in line for early voting. Like, you see that done in Boston?
Yeah.
People standing around, like, they for early voting, go home. I mean, it's not like the deadline.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, that was,
The people,
They're gonna be.
the early voting, did you see that?
Executive session.
Well, the people stood in line like a week early to early vote. Like, I didn't get it.
They did?
Like down in Boston at the city hall, like the 2 days or whatever that coming up to where they stop.
It's not gonna have a stamp line.
That's what I could not understand. Like, why are you standing in line when you? I mean, I understand on election day when you have no other fallback, you have to get voted, but I don't know.
My parking lot was like a speedway for crying out loud.
It was busy. When I came at 7,
Oh, what, is he moving in with these? Was he buying the house too?
Yep.
I got the executive parking spot out there for the hooker van.
Stay with this.
Yeah, right over here. Just worked out.
Bad, so I'm staying with you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I had to put some cones out there because they kept parking.
Parking in the.
There's a truck back.
Yeah, it picks up everything anyways. Jerry's tapping in the pen. Could look different every time.
Yeah, everybody's does.
Mine especially. It's like a third grader.
Are they sending
Just
a
woke
courier
up.
for those? I don't remember seeing an email.
Say that again?
Are they sending a courier for those?
Yes.
They are.
Hedwig the owl
Usually they do.
Thank you.
from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Stamps.
An owl's coming, he's coming in the morning. Hi, dear. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Welcome. Robert's life is usually not charged, so I bring it.
That's funny. I charged my iPad for change.
Did you get it? I sent you the.
Yeah, you did. It finally came. But
See what I mean? It looks different every time.
Not bad though. It's kind of a. Okay.
I want to wish everybody at home a happy Thanksgiving also.
Happy Thanksgiving,
In
everyone.
the oven upstairs. It's getting messier and messier,
Did-
especially
where-
out here.
Not leave before that?
Where, no.
Oh.
Where is the Turkey Day game this year?
It's at the high school.
Up here?
Ayer. Yeah.
What was their
10
record this
a.m.
year?
10
They
a.m.
did okay. They
I
were,
want to say they were 4 and 5 or 4 and
Yeah,
6.
so-
They were.
hopefully they can, one of these years they're gonna knock off Littleton and come back.
Yeah, they have a lot of young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Littleton's is more seniors this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what that one was. Cheap.
I think you gave your union coffee, Mr. Oden.
Yeah, I'll have to check with them, I haven't looked at it. When are they meeting?
They met.
There we go. No, no, we have to start with-
I voted.
Okay.
Sticker. Maybe 7:35. By the time I was here, they were selling leftover food down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was nothing left.
All right, I will set up.
Halloween
a time
candy.
on
I just
that.
gave them money and said, keep it.
You can't be advertising for that kind of stuff upstairs.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Gary started getting a little skewed there as well. Not as bad as that.
Even the Gary Lucas starts to think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Janice was consistent. Madness, like I wrote with my
All
feet.
right, thanks, everybody.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
All right, so with
Thanks,
that,
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Just stand still.
Thanks to Lisa for walking me through it.
I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen adjourn from open meeting and proceed into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A. Review and approval of executive session minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, Janice?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Chair says aye. We're in executive